Adam Silver has caused quite a stir in WNBA world because he just went on the Today Show and he was talking about the WNBA CBA, and here's what he had to say. He said, "I think share isn't the right way to look at it because there's so much more revenue in
the WNBA has never been closer to imploding. What started as whispers in boardrooms has now exploded into a full-blown public war. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and NBA boss Adam Silver are no longer pretending to get along, and the cracks are spreading fast. Players are furious, owners are terrified, and somehow, the fate of the entire league rests on one name, Caitlin Clark. Yeah, the irony stings. The same superstar who single-handedly revived women's basketball, filling arenas, shattering TV ratings, making history, might now be the one pulling the league apart from the inside. But how did it come to this? Who's really losing control? The commissioner, the NBA, or the players themselves? Because this time, the tension between Cathy Engelbert and Adam Silver isn't behind closed doors. It's on full display, live, raw, and ready to explode. Cue dramatic pause. The WNBA is no longer just a sports league, it's a battlefield.
In this cycle of collective bargaining, and they deserve it. So what he's talking about here is the revenue share that the players have been fighting for. So essentially what the players have said in these negotiations is that they want to be paid more when it comes to their salary, but they also want a higher percentage of the revenue split, because currently they are only getting 9% of that revenue split. But we have went over it a million times, you guys. The structure of the WNBA, the finances in the WNBA, and the structure of the finances in the...
And the spark that lit the fire. Caitlin Clark. That's right, the golden girl of the WNBA, the ratings queen, the one who turned every game into a sold-out spectacle, has become the accidental trigger behind the league's biggest internal war yet. Right now, the WNBA is knee-deep in CBA negotiations, the collective bargaining agreement. It's where players and executives go head-to-head over salaries, bonuses, and, most explosively, revenue sharing. Translation: who gets what slice of the pie and who's left fighting for crumbs? And then, in the middle of this high-stakes negotiation, Adam Silver walked onto national TV, the Today Show, and dropped a bombshell. "I don't think share is the right way to look at it," he said. "There's just so much more revenue in the NBA. The players will earn more this cycle and they deserve it." The moment those words hit the airwaves, jaws dropped across the league.
The NBA, as you know, they're calling for, players in the WNBA are calling for more money. They 9%, I believe, accordingly. They get 9% of total revenue compared to roughly 50% of the revenue of NBA players. Should they be getting a larger share of the revenue in the WNBA?
Yes. I mean, I think the share isn't the right way to look at it because there's so much more revenue in the NBA. I think you should look at it in absolute numbers in terms of what they're making, and they are going to get a big increase in this cycle of collective bargaining.
But here's the part he didn't say out loud. Sure, you'll make a bit more money, but don't expect to sit with the big kids. And that's when Cathy Engelbert's nightmare truly began. Within hours, the WNBPA, the players' union, fired back. Not privately, not in a meeting, but publicly and brutally. They tagged Adam Silver directly on Instagram with one sharp, sarcastic line: "Don't want to share, Adam Silver." That wasn't a fan page. That wasn't a burner account. That was the official WNBA Players Association going full savage mode on social media. But what came next was worse. A league spokesperson clapped back, accusing the union of twisting the truth. According to them, the WNBA had already offered an uncapped revenue-sharing model tied to league growth. In other words, "We gave you the deal, you just didn't read it." Now Cathy Engelbert was trapped, caught between a furious players' union and her own boss, Adam Silver, the man who ultimately controls most of the money. Here's the part no one wants to talk about. The WNBA doesn't even fully own itself. It only controls 42% of its operations. The NBA holds another 40%. And the last 18% belongs to outside investors brought in back in 2022, when the league was desperate for funding just to survive. So when Silver speaks, the entire WNBA has to listen, whether they like it or not.
Solution is. Now, in true WNBPA fashion, they decided to clap back on their Instagram account to Adam Silver's remarks, and they posted this. They said, "Don't want to share at Adam Silver." So they literally tagged Adam Silver, used a screenshot from this interview, and posted this in their Instagram story. You guys, I do not know what they think doing that will accomplish. You know how there's that meme where it's like 0 days of whatever? It's like 0 days of
professional, maybe not entertaining. Absolutely. Because what we're watching isn't just sports anymore. It's a power struggle. A drama with real stakes, real emotions, and a hero who never asked to be one. Caitlin Clark didn't want this fight, but she's now standing at the center of it. And with voices like Rebecca Lobo and Stephanie White weighing in, fans are left wondering, is this the moment the WNBA finally finds its strength, or the moment it tears itself apart? Fade out on silence, a heartbeat, then the echo of a whistle. Because one thing's for sure, this game isn't over yet.
Like, we call BS and we see you. It's like, I don't understand what posting this does besides stir up more drama. People are like, ooh, look at them. Look, it's like, no, we're acting like children. Should be acting like a professional organization. You have to work out these things at the negotiating table, not on social media. Like, this is so childish to me. And when I saw this, it just reminded me of how draining it is sometimes to cover this league, because it's like seriously, true.
The WNBA is standing on the edge of chaos, and this time, there may be no way back. Behind closed doors, a power war is exploding between Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and NBA boss Adam Silver. Players are furious, owners are panicking, and somehow the fate of an entire league rests on one woman, Caitlin Clark. The same player who saved the league might now be the reason it tears itself apart. The irony is painful and the stakes couldn't be higher. For months, whispers of tension between Engelbert and Silver have been floating around, but now it's gone public. Every headline, every press quote feels like a crack forming in the league's foundation. And the trigger behind it all, Caitlin Clark. Yeah, you heard that right. The player who packed arenas, spiked ratings, and turned the WNBA into a cultural movement has now become the spark behind a full-blown power struggle. At the center of it all, the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. That's where players and executives go to war over salaries, bonuses, and the most explosive word in sports, revenue sharing. Who gets how much of the pie? Then came the moment that lit the fuse. On the Today Show, Adam Silver smiled into the camera and said calmly, "I don't think share is the right way to look at it. There's just so much more revenue in the NBA. The players will get more money in this cycle and they deserve it." Translation: sure, you'll get a raise, but don't expect a seat at the grown-up table. That one line sent shockwaves through the WNBA. The Players Association, the WNBPA, went nuclear. They fired back on Instagram, tagging Adam Silver directly with a biting caption, "Don't want to share, Adam Silver." No burner accounts, no hidden sarcasm. This was the official union page going full petty mode in front of millions. And just when you thought it couldn't get uglier, the league spokesperson fired back, calling the union's post misleading. The WNBA claimed they had already offered an uncapped revenue-sharing plan tied to growth. In other words, "We gave you the deal. You just didn't read it." Now, Cathy Engelbert is trapped in the middle, trying to calm down outraged players without publicly going to war with her own boss, Adam Silver. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The WNBA doesn't even fully own itself. The league only controls 42% of its operation. The NBA owns another 40%. The rest, outside investors brought in back in 2022 when the league was desperate for funding. So even if Engelbert wanted to give players a 50-50th split, she couldn't. The authority isn't hers to give. And now the players are turning on the man keeping the lights on, Adam Silver himself. Behind the scenes, every investor, sponsor, and team owner is silently panicking. Because if the players hold out, the WNBA could be staring down its first ever lockout. The deadline, Halloween. And trust me, it's shaping up to be terrifying. The players say they're fighting for fairness, that they're undervalued, that they deserve a larger slice of the revenue pie. On paper, it sounds fair. But there's one brutal fact. The WNBA has never, not once, turned a profit. Even with Caitlin Clark filling arenas, boosting ratings, and keeping ticket sales alive, the numbers still bleed red. Adam Silver's logic is simple. You're demanding a bigger cut of losses. Engelbert knows he's right, but she can't say that out loud. Because the moment she does, sponsors bail, and fans lose faith. And yet, she can't deny the truth. Caitlin Clark changed everything. The crowds, the ratings, the jersey sales, all sky high because of one player. She's the heartbeat of every negotiation, the leverage in every argument. When she got injured earlier this year, everything collapsed overnight. Ratings dropped. Talk shows stopped caring. ESPN cancelled a new WNBA segment after just weeks. It was a brutal wake-up call. Without Caitlin Clark, the magic vanishes. Adam Silver noticed. And now he's using that dip as proof in negotiations, quietly warning Engelbert, "This is why we're not doing a 50% revenue share. Take her out of the equation and everything falls off a cliff." Meanwhile, the players push back. "The league is growing because of all of us." Silver laughs quietly. "Really? We saw the ratings without her." Engelbert stands between two ticking time bombs, her players' expectations and Adam Silver's reality check. Every press conference feels like damage control. Fans are picking sides. Sponsors are hesitating. And through it all, Caitlin Clark's name keeps echoing like a ghost. Both the savior and the curse of the league she revived. Even legends like Rebecca Lobo admit it. The franchises are worth more than ever. These women are worth more than ever. But the subtext is chilling. They're only worth more because of one player. Everyone knows it. But no one dares say it out loud. The league's survival is now tied to Caitlin Clark, and that's a terrifying place for any commissioner to be. Adam Silver knows it. Cathy Engelbert knows it. The players know it. And as the power struggle deepens, one more name enters the fire. Stephanie White. What started as a league crisis is now a full-on credibility meltdown. Reports surfaced that the Indiana Fever coaching staff led by Stephanie White misled the media about Caitlyn's recovery timeline. Doctors are speaking out. Fans are furious. One even tweeted, "Stephanie White treating Caitlin Clark's injury like a Netflix cliffhanger." The internet exploded. Behind the polished smiles and PR lines, panic is spreading. Every new statement sounds more desperate than the last. Even other WNBA players are posting cryptic tweets like, "Protect your body. They'll smile in your face and ruin your career behind your back." The media is catching on. Headlines read, "Fever coaching staff faces credibility crisis." Translation, "We caught you lying." So why lie in the first place? Because the team was drowning, the season was slipping away, and instead of honesty, they chose deception. They said, "She's fine, we're just resting." But fans aren't stupid. They noticed. Caitlyn's body language said it all. She wasn't hurt anymore. She was frustrated. When the truth came out, the backlash was instant. Stephanie White went from respected coach to public villain overnight. The internet dubbed it the Caitlyn cover-up. Memes spread like wildfire. And through it all, Caitlyn stayed silent, just focusing on her jumper, while her name ignited a war she never asked for. Now, every side, the league, the players, the coaches, is pointing fingers. Adam Silver's calling for realism. Engelbert's clinging to optimism. The players are tweeting shade. And the fans, they're done believing. The WNBA's future now hangs by a thread. The clock is ticking. Halloween's approaching, and if no deal is reached, the league faces its darkest night. Sponsors will vanish. Networks will move on. And when that happens, everyone will point to the same name, Caitlin Clark, not because she failed, but because her success exposed just how fragile the WNBA's foundation truly is. So, what happens now? Does this power war save the league or destroy it from within? One thing's for sure. When the dust settles, no one will come out clean.